All right, ladies and gentlemen, got your watch list coming in at July 22nd, 2019, and the stock market is going to get crazy. We have earnings, and we have some of the bigger companies reporting, the ones we've been waiting for. But even more importantly, we cannot forget how we ended off this week, and it is pretty much the pregame into the Fed, which is going to hit the middle of next week. And as we get closer and closer to that, the politics behind it are going to ramp up. The market's going to be more sensitive to it, and you're going to see how pricing and uncertainty all start to collide. So we are going to talk briefly about that, but not too quick, because we have a lot of plays that we have to go over. I'm going to go over all of the earnings for next week, and every watch list we post after this, tomorrow, the next day, we're going to focus in on each individual day. But I want to start off this week. There's a lot of companies, and it really starts to kick off around Wednesday. I want to start covering those so you guys have an idea of how to lead forward and get an idea, and then also monitor the option prices for those who are trading the options. And best of all, too, I got your keys for the day. So we're going to cover that and look at what we need to really be focused on and get everybody in the right mindset. And again, more importantly than anything else, you guys need to post your watch list below in the comments. Put any of the stocks you're watching, whether it's options, trading, day trading. I don't even care if it's a penny stock, whatever you are looking at. Just give us some context into it. Let's source that information and make sure you are live. It is pinned in the description. It is pinned in the comments. YouTube.com/the stock market, 30 minutes before open, Monday through Friday. I think that's how the brainwash goes. And most importantly, after that, drop your thumbs up on the video. And even if you don't, that just means you're a hater or you just don't like the video. But I hope you sleep good at night, okay? Because you better get a good night's sleep, because tomorrow's going to be crazy. No, but it doesn't mean tomorrow's going to be crazy, but it is going to set us up into a lot of stuff. So I want to go over the first keys today. Again, here are all the companies coming into this week, but we are closer to the Fed date. The markets are responding more sensitive to any of the news. If you guys even saw, the minute any news related to rates have came out, the market is just sliced through levels very, very easily, and it's something we haven't seen. And I think that's a lot of the algo moves that we're getting. And even more importantly, what we saw finally on Friday, the volume finally came up. So you guys could see that if we do start getting more volume, it's going to be a weird push and pull between pricing and earnings and pricing and all these and what's happening versus what the market thinks with the Fed. So again, don't forget what happened on Friday and almost all of last week. And what I really mean by that is, if you really think about it, every single day last week was a red day except for Thursday. And the only reason why Thursday went up because they thought the Fed said something that was extremely dovish, and it wasn't, and that is what we've been making those videos on and what we clarified. So keep your guys' eyes out for that. But the next key we need to focus on, it is Christmas time, my friends. These are earnings, and there's a lot of opportunities, and you've seen it. And really what I'm trying to ask is, what type of kid are you? And now this isn't for me. I don't really care. I'm not the one getting you guys the presents. This is for you to understand how to make the most out of what we have with earnings season. Were you the type who would complain when it looked like you didn't get what you wanted? You'd open up the stocking, or you'd get a really big box and there would be something small, and it was like the ribbon that led to the bike or the car outside, but then you started crying before you could have got to it, and then your parents are just like, oh man, this spoiled little. Or even then, were you the type who got the present, you got exactly what you wanted and it wasn't enough, or you were like, I want a pony, and you didn't get your pony, and you're mad that you just got like an Xbox and a home theater system and a new car, so I'm like, I didn't get the pony. Point is, the market, it's going to hand out opportunities. You guys are going to see it in the chat. Some people are going to hit something. Some people are going to miss out on something. Some people are going to capitalize more than others. But the point you need to do, take what you get and move on. There's usually more to come. And if you are gracious and grateful for it, you will have a lot more opportunities. And even you will be in the right mindset to see more of the opportunities that are right before your eyes. And honestly, on top of that, the next thing you really got to do is make sure you know exactly what you want. Santa can't get you the gifts if you don't tell him. So you got to make sure you know what your objective and goal and what you're trying to accomplish with both your accounts, your profits, and everything. Like we've discussed, the finish line. Everybody's finish line is different. It's not a race to who gets there first. It is who reaches their finish line. And again, on top of that, it leads me to another point. If you guys have seen these last few weeks, and honestly, every single day or every single month after month, on stream. I want to make sure you guys know how to use the stream, use the watch list, these plays we're putting out, the people on the stream alerts. You know, we did turn off the webinar for a little bit, and I was kind of, I think it was a blessing and a curse at the same time. I got to talk to some of the people on the stream alerts, and you know, we did a vocal thing, and it was really cool. And at the same time, I got the same response from some people not even on the stream alerts and even in the chat. And he's asking, when do I sell? When do I sell? And the point is, I'm not here to tell you when to sell. Again, you guys are seeing I'm doing this to document and give you information. But what you could point out from all of this, I could show you the opportunity. I could get you started, but I can't teach you the drive. Your exit is dependent upon you. You guys have always asked me for years and years, how do you find mispriced options? How do you do this? How do you do this? Or you can't do this, you can't do that. We are clearly showing plays that are moving 500% to 5,000%. It's not as if this is an exaggeration. I'm doing it right in front of you guys. But when you take profits is up to you. I could show you the opportunity. It is on you to figure it out. Because again, I'm not trying to show you it. I'm trying to teach you the underlying mechanics of trading and options while at the same time showing you what I'm doing. So that's where I'm saying you guys are going to be in plays. You have to take the profits when you decide. Do not look at me. Do not look at the next guy. Don't look at anybody in Chad. Chad's not going to tell you. Chad is a little schizo sometimes. Chad doesn't even know what he wants. I have a different finish line than you. I have a different allocation. I have a different portfolio and income. So I'm telling you guys that not as even a disclaimer. It's because I want to see the best out of you guys, and I want to see you really learn and be able to replicate this stuff. Not so you copy and replicate, so you could learn and become more of a contributing factor here in the chat room. And that is what I need from you guys. You guys saw last week, if I'm not seeing you guys post everything and anything. But again, I want you guys to learn and be smart and ultimately be safe. It's like going to the gym, man. You guys are watching me work out in the gym. You're seeing me pick up a weight. Guess what? You could watch me do a workout. You could see me get into something. But it doesn't mean you should pick up the exact same weights and try to do exactly what I'm doing, because you could probably or most likely will hurt yourself. You got to build up to it and learn. And even then, your goals in the gym are going to be different. You know, some of you want to get ripped. Some of you want to get swole. Some of you just want to be healthy. And if you guys master your personal health, aka your personal finance, you guys are going to be able to help other people do that a lot more effectively, because everybody has different goals and objectives. So keep that in mind. And again, you guys, please be positive and respectful in the chat. Create an environment where everybody could get there and contribute. But let us get into the plays. But it's going to have to start with the earnings. So like I said in the beginning, these are earnings from all of this week. I kind of, some are in the morning, some are after hours. We are going to focus in on them day by day as the days before arrive when we go on the watch list. But here is them now so that you guys could start thinking. And if you see any of these plays, if you notice anything, you could start to get in them now. But there's going to be Coca-Cola, Lockheed Martin, Biogen, UTX, Jetblue, Hog, which is the vroom, 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 the Harley Davidsons, and Sherwin-Williams, which is paint. And these are all tomorrow. Tomorrow or Tuesday, I believe. But either way, you guys have seen these companies and know value stocks, defense, healthcare, UTX related to the buyout with Raytheon. I'm going to like JetBlue with the airlines and all that, but those, then we're going to have Boeing, ATT, Caterpillar, UPS, NOC, and Anthem. And again, there is a lot more companies reporting. I'm just giving you guys the ones that pretty much stick out to me and will have an important effect on the market. And even as you're seeing these, you could get an idea of why this week has the potential to be crazy, because these are all big names. It's a lot of money, and these can move the stock market. Next, there's 3M, Bristol Myers, Love, Southwest Airlines, Amazon, Google, Starbucks, Expedia, Intel, SAM, which is Boston Beer, and DEC. So as you see, Amazon and Google this week, so keep that in mind if you are looking to play them, and even watch out for the option prices. And then lastly, Twitter, McDonald's, Colgate, and PSX. And Twitter is going to be in the morning, which is an interesting one, but that could actually be pretty decent with some of the reports lately. But now let's get into the exact plays I'm going to be watching tomorrow. Right off the bat, I want to focus on gold, rates, and the UVXY. Again, don't forget what happened last week, as we said, and even how Friday closed, and it sold off after hours. And one thing I noticed, the VIX didn't start moving till later, and the VIX was pretty cheap. So right off the bat, the first thing I like, and I grabbed the play even on Friday, UVXY. So I want to see how those trade tomorrow and how they go up through the week, but these could be potentially good unless there is a weird earnings cuck, and that could definitely have an effect here where we see some downside market pressure and good earnings. That's pretty much going to be a VIX killer because the market's going to be both places. The call and put ratio is going to be all out of whack, so watch out for that. But I like UVXY. Next is going to be all the gold stocks, but even before that, watch TLT as well and see how bonds react. And again, bonds are related to even gold and the dollar and rates. So hopefully you see how all of this is tied into each other. So watch TLT, and the next thing I'm going to be looking at is, and we're going to go over this live on stream, and I did actually make a play out here for August, and that's why I want to see if gold is going to have another rally week. I'm going to go for shorter term options. If it's going to do good, I'm going to go, or if it looks like it could maybe stall out, I'm going to go for the longer dated options. But these could be great opportunities because gold runs up really, really fast when it does make the moves. But then the minute gold stops moving, it creates a wicked premium crush. So I'm going to keep my eyes out for that, and I'm excited to see how that plays. I know we got a lot of gold bugs, so call it out. Next, I'm going to watch here Netflix. Again, there is other companies that are reporting this week that I want to keep my eye on tomorrow. But even then, I want to make sure we don't forget about the potential for earnings continuations from the plays from last week. And one of those is Netflix. They dropped below that 320. It was a huge move down. And again, right when it broke, it sold off. So I think that's going to be a good one. Watch for a break of 300 or if there is any bounce back to 330 levels. Next up, we're going to get Microsoft. Don't forget about them. They dropped 2 at the market, but they still held up green, and they had a good earnings. A lot of people were even saying, I could only imagine if it went down, but their earnings was solid. Their cloud was good. And again, Amazon reports this week, and the positive strength from Microsoft Cloud could point to a positive effect with Amazon. However, that could also start to increase people's expectations for Amazon doing good. So it could increase the potential for a surprise on Amazon's cloud failing. So keep your eyes out for that. I still like Microsoft. IBM is probably going to be my favorite because it's starting to make these moves. It's at a key level, and its options are cheaper, but be careful on the option chain with IBM, especially as you get closer towards the end of the week because it's spread out by $2. Even if you go to the weeklies, every move is about, once you get past here, they might even fill it in tomorrow. And this is something to notice. You see how once it starts moving up, it's only 250 increments, but here it's $1. But the minute these start getting to 250 increments, be careful because it's a lot for IBM to move that amount. But keep them on watch. I like them. And again, tomorrow morning, make sure you guys are there pre-market because how some of these things move, you are going to see stuff. If you guys even saw Philip Morris last week, there's going to be some companies that are just going to open up tomorrow and they're going to run. And that's what we need to look for, that are going to pretty much do its own thing relative to the market. So if you see those tomorrow, call them out. Watch IBM. Next is going to be JetBlue. I like the transports, and I like them as earnings because usually their model is a little different than the other airlines. But then again, how they move, we already saw some earlier airline reportings, but how they move can affect the other airlines, and watch Southwest in conjunction with that. Next is going to be Starbucks. Again, value stock, slow mover. It's holding up near highs, and usually when Starbucks does this, it's saying F you to the market. It doesn't really care. It's doing its own thing. So watch out for that. It could signal something. We'll see. But I like Starbucks overall. And then lastly on this chart, you are going to get your Boeing. And another one we're going to have, but the other one's linked to something else, but they report too, and AT&T reports with them, and keep an eye out for that. I don't know why I always just think Boeing, and then AT&T at the end. But watch Boeing, again, coming off of the expectations last week. We do that play. We had some people cash out 14,000%. No exaggeration. So that was a fun play. Let's see how it plays and how it moves coming into earnings. That could be very interesting, but I'm going to keep my eye out for that. And then lastly, Anthem. And what I wanted to relate this to was UNH, but Anthem's going to have the earnings. UNH is coming off of post-earnings, so hopefully these contracts get a little bit cheaper. And if they do, I'm going to go for them. If not, Cigna is still in play, I believe. And lastly, this was my favorite one last week, and I said it's only a matter of time as long as it keeps holding. Beyond. I like Beyond Meat a lot, and we're going to see whichever week it starts to gas up, keep an eye out for it. I'm going to hopefully, it could even take off tomorrow morning, right? That could be the one that goes right there off the morning, but we have to see, and we have to watch out for it in the same respect. You want to watch Zoom, and that could still kind of get back on its. I guess you could even put Roku in the mix too, which makes me even want to look at Disney. And so all of those could be good. And then lastly, I was going to put up Baidu and watch them in relation to some of the Chinese stocks. Oh, and I actually almost forgot. Go back to watch Shopify. We're still in that play. So see, because now the ones we had from last week are becoming weekly. So let's see where this is at and how those values stay up. But if it has a bad day tomorrow, it could crush those contracts. But then if you haven't got into Shopify, that could be now the opportunity to get in cheaper. But be careful. Try to get a little bit more time on there. So watch and like I said too, I mean watch Disney too. I like them. There's also going to be the chip makers like AMD and NVIDIA. You see again, all these plays were even connected from last week and what we were looking at. So there's going to be a lot. Now you mix in the earnings, you mix in the Fed, the stock market is going to get crazy, folks. So that is it. Make sure you drop your thumbs up on the video and post your watch list. I'll see you in the morning. Let's go.